As with any wrestling organization currently occupying this balmy industry, each of the following all-elite names are most likely always only a few weeks of solid booking or some fine-tuning away from becoming an entity worth tuning in to watch. But at this moment in time, everyone from can't-miss Samoan submission machines to loudmouth potential superstars have all given fans next to no reason at all to give a toss about their current all-elite status. Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 AEW wrestlers who are impossible to care about. Number 10, Tony Nese. News of Tony Nese officially becoming All Elite last year was met with an understandably muted response. Admittedly, Nese's status as one of the hottest free agents in pro wrestling when first glimpsed in the AEW crowd in October wasn't entirely off the mark. However, in the wake of an unsuccessful TNT Championship challenge against then-champ Sammy Guevara not long after signing on the All Elite dotted line, Nese's momentum as an exciting new AEW addition seemed to come to a screeching halt. Outside of thunderously squashing Danhausen on May 11th's Dynamite, Nese's impressive dark record has done little to convince fans he's destined for anything more than being a notable yet fairly bland scalp for future main eventers to dispatch on their journey up the card. See Hook and Swerve Strickland's notable conquering of him in recent times for examples. And while his association with the ever-punchable smart Mark Sterling looked like a wise move on paper, it's still not been enough to establish the former cruiserweight champ as a must-see presence. Number 9, Fuego del Sol. It's a bit telling that arguably the most notable act Fuego del Sol has found himself at the center of since emotionally becoming All Elite in August didn't actually involve him being present at all. In the time since being personally handed his AEW contract by his pal Sammy Guevara, the one-time universally adored masked underdog found himself assisting his then TNT title-boasting mate for a spell, before eventually being relegated to the role of cannon fodder babyface for diabolical forces of evil or monstrous heel titans to devour. Relentlessly being swatted away by the likes of the House of Black in trios competition, and still looking for his first ever win on either Dynamite or Rampage, those days of fans rallying behind the plucky DDT merchant in his quest to take down the Redeemer Miro last summer feel like a distant memory at this point. Number 8, Lance Archer. The Murder Hawk Monster is a former IWGP United States and Tag Team Champion, one-time winner of the Men's Casino Battle Royale, and has picked up notable victories over the likes of Jon Moxley and Rey Fenix over the years. Yet that still doesn't erase the major issue when it comes to the Titanic Force. Simply put, when thrown into a contest on TV with anyone even remotely competitive, Archer almost always eats the L, no matter how much savage work he puts into selling the threat he poses coming into a clash. Did anyone really believe Archer would overcome Hangman Page and seize his first ever AEW World Championship strap? Was there any doubt the eternally over Eddie Kingston or rising powerhouse Wardlow would be derailed by the braided beast? Likely spanning all the way back to his unsuccessful attempts to topple the likes of Cody Rhodes, Miro, and Mox when placed in various TNT and AEW World title scraps, it's got to the point where only a fool will put their money on a Big Archer All Elite win. Number 7, Frankie Kazariann. The record will always show that TNA legend Frankie Kazariann is not only an AEW original, but one half of the first ever AEW World Tag Team Champions. They will never take it away. But it's these two notable achievements that perhaps make the Elite Hunter's questionable usage of late that bit more disappointing, seemingly making it his mission to take down the Elite on the back of the Young Bucks forcing himself and Christopher Daniels to cease tagging together. A once intriguing character shift would ultimately result in Kazariann eating telegraph losses time and time again. And a switch of focus towards TNT Gold hardly aided his quest for relevancy either, with Kazariann soon becoming a mere accessory and arguably the worst received All Elite feud of the year, as Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara locked horns with Frankie's old pal Scorpio Sky and the rest of Dan Lambert's posse. While there's no shame in occasionally putting over the future at this stage in his storied career, Kazariann being lazily jobbed out in countless uninspired All Elite programs has done his credibility no favors in recent times. Number 6, Ethan Page. In Man of the Year, Ethan Page, AEW found themselves fighting a bit of an uphill battle out of the gates. What with his surprise debut in the midst of the 2021 Face of the Revolution ladder match being somewhat underwhelming due to the fact many have been angling for the likes of Rob Van Dam or even Chris Hero to arrive on the scene. But there's no questioning the fact that Page possesses all the tools to be a serious player in AEW, with his ability to keep up with the best of them in the ring, real-life combat legitimacy, and electric mic work rounding him off as a complete package wrestler. Unfortunately though, Page has routinely been embarrassed/battered whenever placed in a position of any real worth. And when your most impressive AEW singles notch to date comes in the form of a win over fellow list member Frankie Kazariann on Dark, it's not too hard to see why fans rarely waste their time believing Page is going to give them a reason to get up out of their seats. Number 5, The Butcher and the Blade. Another set of All Elite names who weren't blessed with the most captivating of debuts, did actually find a way to initially recover from their infamous "Who Are You" arrival by putting on a few tag team barn burners in the form of a Falls Count Anywhere collision with the Young Bucks and a natural nightmare bunkhouse brawl for the ages. In the time since that 2020 run of brilliance though, both the Butcher and the Blade have found themselves largely on the periphery when it comes to the fiercely competitive AEW tag scene, with wins on the likes of Rampage and Dynamite being an increasing rarity, as Hardy Boys and Blackpool Combat Clubs alike have all taken turns dishing out an L to the unfortunate Andrade family office, or whatever they call themselves now, members. The landscape has notably shifted in the time since Butcher and Blade's hard-earned time in the All Elite spotlight during those desperate pandemic days, and it's hard to see where this now jobber unit will continue to fit in a company that has more freakishly talented tag teams than it knows what to do with at this current moment in time. Number 4, Mercedes Martinez. Current reigning Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Mercedes Martinez's All Elite arrival should have bolstered a division in desperate need of some unmatched in-ring experience. Instead, the former NXT talent got her AEW career underway with an extremely rare and rather ill-advised DQ finish in her debut bout against Thunder Rosa, and followed that up with an admittedly physical no DQ rematch. A defeat in that grisly bout, however, paved the way for a thrown-together alliance with her apparent bitter rival, as Rosa soon set her sights on Britt Baker's AEW Women's World title strap. This almost immediately forced fans to register Martinez as little more than a side character in the overall AEW Women's Division story being told. And another rush showing in Martinez's undisputed Ring of Honor Women's title victory over Deonna Purrazzo in the May 4th edition of Dynamite's main event, coupled with the fact she's yet to defend it on TV since then, seem to only succeed in encouraging the disappointing apathy being sent towards this undoubtedly talented division, and Mercedes part within it. Number 3, Satnam Singh. See how big he is? Have you ever seen a person that size move like that? Look at the size of his hands! Nope, those were not the words uttered by a certain insane billionaire in Stamford. They were actually much more likely declared by a certain Tony Khan, upon laying his eyes on the first ever Indian player to be drafted in the NBA. However, being a gifted basketball giant does not guarantee you a jaw-dropping pop on night one on the job, as Satnam Singh unfortunately found out the hard way thanks to TK's odd decision to unveil him with next to no fanfare, post Samoa Joe Ring of Honor TV Championship victory over Minoru Suzuki. And it seems as though the crickets that greeted this dud of a blackout reveal have disappointingly set the tone for the monstrous human out of the gates, with his numerous beatdowns since that April 13th debut not exactly exploding the crowd, and his recent Rampage bow hardly getting pulses racing either. Number 2, Jay Lethal. Lethal's introduction into an already overflowing AEW midcard felt like a fairly short-sighted endeavor on the night of his lackluster reveal at Full Gear. Sure enough, outside of a losing effort in his debut TNT Championship showing against then-champ Sammy Guevara, Lethal has offered next to nothing to All Elite programming. Contrived attempts to present him as a plucky veteran in bouts against Ricky Starks and Jon Moxley fell flat, and his presence beside Satnam Singh with Sanjay Dutt has done little to justify his AEW existence either. Though he could still find a home with Khan's new Ring of Honor world in the coming months, you'd be hard-pressed to find too many AEW fans being in a rush to follow him onto that reimagined product. Number 1, Samoa Joe. Have the Samoan submission machine seen locking horns with Beast Incarnate, or tearing his way through the likes of TNA and Ring of Honor shown up in Tony Khan's playground on April 6th, this entry would have no right to exist. The Suzuki dispatching and a run all the way to the finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament look lovely on paper, but the truth is that a once marquee player has been thoroughly shuffled into the mid-card pack at a staggeringly rapid pace. Far from serving as a special attraction of sorts or even a fraction of the out-and-out killer he used to be, Joe has unfortunately found himself the victim of one surprise AEW debut too many in recent times, leaving fans with simply too much of a good thing to earnestly scream Joe, Joe, Joe in quite the same way they once did. And that's our list. Are there any other AEW wrestlers who are impossible to care about that we missed? Let us know all about them in the comments section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you like this kind of thing, then head on over to whatculture.com and find some more incredible articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you as always for clicking on this video today. Hopefully I will see you soon, but in the meantime, have a good one. Bye bye.